Today we're going to be talking about why filmmakers quit the business, and it usually happens after the work is done, not before it, believe it or not. A lot of filmmakers quit after they've actually had successes, but it actually turns out to not be the success that they thought it was going to be. I've known a lot of filmmakers, and that includes actors, writers, directors, producers, etc., who have left the business for other avenues of income, mainly because as much as they love this business does not treat its craftsmen the right way. That is the reality. Again, like always, I tell you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm going to tell you how it really is in the business nowadays. And the reality is when most people quit, it's because not that they're burnt out, or not that they're good enough, or not that they didn't really get any traction. I mean, sometimes it's they didn't get any traction, nothing really materialized for them, but it's mostly because they realize almost it's not worth it. And at the end of the day, it is a punishing business. There's no other industry in the world that is as punishing as the creative life. So if you want this, if you're still listening, you're like, oh, fuck that, I'm out. If you still want this, then buckle up, because the reality is a good portion of you, and I don't know percentage numbers, I'm not the mathematician here, my wife is, a good portion of you that want it really badly aren't going to get anywhere. And it really is only about sticking through the hard times that make the difference. So let's talk about why some filmmakers quit and see if we can smooth over those patches for you. Number one, there is a massive gap between reward and effort. This means that you could be working on a script, for example, for months, years even. I know some people that have been working on something for what is it now? Maybe going on 4 years now, that they're hoping to send to a manager. Now, let's say you finish it. You're happy with it after 4 years. You send it out. Crickets. I'm talking not even crickets. The crickets died waiting for you to finish. Even if you had written it in 2 months. Crickets. Or you get, oh, it's not for us. Oh, this is really good. What else do you have? That's the one that hurts the most. What else do you have? What do you mean, what else do you have? I've got this. You said you like this. Buy this fucking thing. What's wrong with you guys? It's so frustrating. But that effort and reward is not instantaneous. Whereas, I hate to say, a desk job, or working at Starbucks, somebody wants a latte, you give them the latte, hey, thanks, good, done. And you get paid for that. And I'm not saying go to Starbucks, but it's an example. Whereas, you write a script, you get it out there, people read it, they like it, or the worst is, they ghost you, they don't respond. Then you write back, you give them 2 weeks. Hey, just checking if you'd read it. Oh, it's on my to-do for the weekend. Okay, you give them another 2 weeks. Hey, just checking in if you read it. Oh, sorry, something came up, I haven't read it, I'll get back to it. And then, at that point, they're never gonna read it. Just to be honest. And I've been certainly guilty of that when it comes to reading people's material. They send it to me like, hey, I'm gonna get to it. But people have shit going on. People are busy. You just have to give them the time to it, but you have to be patient. Patience is the number one rule when it comes to not quitting. Remember that. That's the one thing I want you to walk away from. If you want a career in filmmaking, you have to be patient, because at the end of the day, your success is really not up to you. Do as much as you can to assert yourself in the business, but at the end of the day, it's not up to you if you don't control the money. Again, it always comes down to money, unfortunately. You can put in the effort, you can write the scripts, you can make the short films, you can send the emails, you can do all that stuff, but the reward isn't always there. As a matter of fact, it almost usually isn't, which is unfortunate, and this is what spurs a lot of people to say, fuck it, I'm done. This isn't about motivation. This is really about biology. Humans are not wired for delayed validation, delayed gratification, especially when we come to creative work. Obviously, we're creating for a reason. You should write for yourself. You should be a filmmaker for yourself. Number one, you should please your soul. That's the number one goal, really, going in. There's a lot of number one goals, but you know what I mean. I might say that a lot, just make them all number ones. You're creating for yourself, but at the end of the day, we are creating because we want to share our creation with the world. At the end of the day, you want people to read it. You want people to go watch your movie. There is a financial stake in it, but at the end of the day, you want people to experience your art and either be moved, be entertained, laugh, cry, whatever it takes. We are artists because we want to share our art. That's what makes us different from other people. But that's what makes this business different from other businesses, because the money people they've made art a commodity and they think they know what sells. And if they like your script, great. But maybe the third person who reads it didn't like it. dies. That's happened to me so many times. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. A quick example. I had a script I've been working on for about a year. I send it in to my manager at the time. He really likes it. He gave me a couple notes. I made a couple tweaks. He sends it to Lakeshore. Lakeshore reads it. Oh, they really like it. They want to set up a meeting. Oh my God, yes. I get a meeting with Lakeshore. This is amazing. This is going to be great. It's going to be huge. They're going to buy it. I sit with the main guy, the main kind of acquisitions guy, and we chat about it. I really love the concept. I think it's really strong. This is what we'd like to tweak it. Can you make these and these changes? Yeah, sure. Now this is without a contract, without money, but just because this sounds really, really positive, and this is really like, oh, this is going to be my big sale. I can't wait. I make the changes, get it back to him. He loves it. Oh, this is great. This is really the direction we're going to go. I'm going to send it up to the big guy. So the big guy reads it. The big guy says, oh, we're not doing sci-fi anymore. It's dead. It dies. Now this is a year plus of work. And where's that script now? Sitting on my hard drive. This is the reality of it. That's enough to make you quit right there. Like, God damn it, I was so close, and it died. You have to look past that effort and reward window to be able to push forward and make a career a viable thing. Because a career is not made overnight. Most people who have successes have been working at it for years and years and years. And then honestly, some people just get fucking lucky. That happens too. Number 2, let's tie it back to a previous episode, development hell. Sometimes you have a project that you think is so good, other people think it's so good, similar to my science fiction project at Lakeshore, and it gets stuck in this weird development hell situation, and you develop something called development hell fatigue. This is a real problem. This is something that affects a ton of filmmakers, almost every filmmaker at some point in their career. Even big name filmmakers have had development hell fatigue, projects that they've been working on for years and years and years, and then it just kind of fizzles apart. And I'm talking about multi-million-dollar projects, not just low budget indie things or spec scripts that you're trying to get out. Sometimes these projects just fizzle out, either due to apathy or lack of interest, or just kind of them stringing you along. That is the reality of the world. And I'm talking about endless rewrites, almost that it's always almost. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. You're gonna hear that refrain, and it's gonna be so frustrating. And you know, after a while, after 2 years or something like that, you'll be like, you know what? Forget it. I'm done. I'm not touching it anymore. If you're not buying it, I'm moving on. And they're gonna say, sorry, we're not buying it. Then okay, bye. Done. All that work was for nothing. Patience. You have to be willing to work for free or work for very little money at the beginning. And I'm hoping your career takes off and you can make multi-million-dollar movies. But just be aware that at the beginning, when you're trying to make your name in the business, you gotta be patient. You gotta be working. You gotta be willing to grind and work your ass off for little to no pay and almost little to no reward. Development hell is a big problem. Fatigue is a big problem. Take a break. Go take some time off. Go to the beach. Well, if you hate the beach because of sharks, like I do, get away from the beach. Go to the city. Go to the country. Be careful with killer scarecrows, though. They are a problem. I'll give you an example of development fatigue. I had projects that never got any closure. As a matter of fact, they just kind of fizzled out, and I assumed that they had died. We were working on a Lifetime movie. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I was working on a Lifetime movie, or a potential Lifetime movie, I should say. I wrote the script. The producers had agreed to the outline. This is what we wanted. This is kind of what we're going for. I gave them an outline. I gave them a concept of what I wanted to do, of what they wanted to see. I wrote the script. They loved it. As far as I knew, they really liked it. They gave me some notes. I did some read. This is all free work. And then I sent it back. And then crickets. Now, these are guys I've been talking to for weeks, months about doing something. I hadn't even met them in person. Crickets. Hey guys, what's the update? Nothing. What's happening? We're supposed to be shooting like in a couple months. What's going on? Crickets. Hey guys, hello. I haven't heard anything about the script. What's happening? Can I get an update? What's going on? Crickets. They completely ignored me, completely ghosted me. What the hell's going on? I was so frustrated. Eventually I had to reach out to a friend who knew the producers, and they said, oh yeah, I think they canceled that. What? Nobody told me. Why did nobody tell me, the writer and the director of the damn project? And then eventually I had to I just kept emailing the main guy and the production guy and like, what's happening? Tell me what's going on. Is this dead? What is happening? This happened like literally right before COVID too. COVID had no influence on it because COVID shut everything down like this is a month after. So this is like right before COVID happened, like a month before COVID. Nothing. And then they go, oh yeah, sorry, the money people, the Lifetime people thought the script was too violent, so we decided to cancel it. What about a rewrite, guys? I can take the violence down. Let me rewrite it. What the hell? What do you mean too violent? Like, have you heard of a rewrite? I mean, I was a little more polite, but like, let me fucking rewrite it. They just said it's dead. But completely no closure on that one. Frustrating. And at the time, that was one of the impetus things for me to say, one of my many times where I'm done. This sucks. I'm done. I quit. I'm done, baby. And then COVID came. And then we were down for a year. Everybody was down for a year. And I started YouTube. That kept me alive, kept me going. And then I decided, I can't think of anything else I want to do. I can't think of anything else I want to do. So I personally have quit multiple times when it's gotten so tough, so punishing, that I'm like, I don't want this anymore. This is stupid, man. What else can I do? Maybe I will just go work at, Target or something. But every time that happens, I come back and I go, I can't. I love this so much. As much as it hurts me, I can't think of anything else I'd rather do. So I came back. But a lot of people do not come back. So let's talk about number 3, and that's the financial reality of working in the film business. Here's the thing. If you're an actor, most likely you have a day job or 2 day jobs, and you're doing self-taping, auditions and things in between work or after work, things like that. Or you have a boss that's, especially here in LA, you have a boss that's really understanding and like, hey, I just booked something. I need to be gone for a week. Okay, we'll work it out on the schedule. Those are the best kind of bosses, but they have to understand that if they're working with an actor, if you're hiring an actor, you got to give them that leeway, but you'll have somebody that's going to be there, for the most part, most of the time. I know so many actors who do self-tapes 10, 15, 20, 50 a week. They don't book anything. It's tough. It's even tougher for writers, because writers, you don't make money up front. At least with an actor, you book somebody, you're gonna get paid immediately. With a writer, you write something, somebody reads it, they're not paying you. Somebody else reads it, they're not paying you. A studio reads it, they're not paying you. Writers, a writer friend reads it, a manager reads it, an agent reads it. Nobody's paying you. Nobody's paying you, baby. Or you make a film. You put your heart and soul into a movie. You maxed out credit cards. You did the Kevin Smith thing. It worked out for him. I know so many other people who've done the same thing, and they are bankrupt. They are bankrupt, and they've given up. They've moved away because it's not a reality for everybody. Kevin Smith got lucky. Luck does play a massive part in it, and I'll talk about luck in another video, but it's hard to digest luck. And it's really hard to talk about it because it is as much a part of this industry as anything, but it's hard to really put your finger on luck. Do you know what I mean? But the financial responsibility is, if you have family, you can't support your kids by just, writing all day. Hey kids, I'll print it out, you eat the paper. You know what I mean? You can't really do that. I mean, I guess you could do that, but don't do that. Don't do that. The reality is, no matter where you are in the film business, you're dealing with irregular outcome, irregular pay. Not everybody pays the same thing. I mean, it's not like there's a minimum wage. Every company has a different pay scale, especially if you're union and non-union, there's that difference as well. Then there's the fact that there's no visible progress, and you look at your bank account dwindling and you're like, I've written 3 scripts and I'm broker than I was when I started. Yeah. Oh, I made this movie and it got into this festival, but nobody bought it. There was 2 people in the audience. And I won best special effects or best actor or even best director. That doesn't mean anything to a distribution company. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. And I'll talk about festivals in another video. Now, financial stress doesn't kill passion. It kills sustainability. You cannot be in the game if you can't afford to be in the game. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason why so many people in the industry have day jobs. And the reason most people leave the business is they can't afford LA in general, much less playing a creative life. It's tough, and there's no way around that. I don't know how to tell you how to get more money, except be willing to take a crappy minimum wage job while you write your script, while you direct your movie, while you're doing self-tapes, and then just keep grinding at it. But it's all about sustaining yourself and your career at the same time. It's tough, but that's why most people leave. They can't do both. Number 4, let's talk about identity erosion. Now, most filmmakers tie themselves to their work. They identify with their work. When progress stalls, identity collapses. What does that look like? I'm a failure. Maybe I wasn't meant for this. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not Quentin Tarantino. I'm not Steven Spielberg. I'm not Timothée Chalamet. You get that thing where you start to compare yourself. Now, you've probably heard the phrase, comparison is the thief of joy, and that's very true. I'm gonna give you another piece of advice real quick that's tied into this. Get off of social media. Get off of it. But don't compare yourself to other people. Here's the thing, everybody's career is different. Everybody's career is different. Nobody is gonna have the same filmmaking career. And I'm not saying, oh, actor, writer, producer, that kind of thing. I'm talking about the trajectory of their career is gonna be different. You'll never be Spielberg, sorry. You'll never be Timothy Chalamet. You'll never be Aaron Sorkin. And their career is their career. And that's what makes everybody's journey so special, but at the same time, stressful, because you can't say, oh, I wanna do it just like John Carpenter. You can't. Oh, look at John Carpenter now. He can't get a movie made. He's basically tapped out. Even though he's made some of the most amazing movies ever and his name still means something, he's tapped out. He's exhausted. The business has changed. He's changed. It happens. Now, it's hard to not identify with your work because as a creative person, you put so much of it into it. You're writing a script. You cry over the characters' deaths. You cry over the situation. By the end, you're like, oh my God, this is really great. This is something really, really special. I put my heart and soul into this. You send it out into the cold, bleak world and you're like, oh, this sucks. This is bleak, this is garbage, boring, dumb, idiotic, this makes no sense. And that breaks you down. But it's hard to not be connected to it. And honestly, I don't know how to tell you how to not be connected to it, except to understand that the work and you have to be separate. So when you get notes, it's not as demoralizing as like, what the fuck? It was perfect. It was perfect the first time. Here's the thing, when people are paying you for a work, when people are producing something, they have a different movie in their minds. And part of your job as a writer and as a filmmaker is to understand that, but still try to get your movie made as best as possible. And it's a partnership. It's the only business that I can think of. Honestly, the only business I've ever been in. I worked at Starbucks for 2 months. But anyway, the only business I know that teaming up, partnership, group effort is part of the gig. No movie is ever made by one person. No movie. Because it is a community effort and you have to accept that. If you can take yourself out of the equation as much as possible, it's gonna be easier for you. A lot of people can't, and that hurts them in the end. And this is why most people quit internally before they quit outwardly. I've been there. I've quit, and I felt it in my bones. I'm done. And I've wept for the loss of a friend because I love this career so much. And I said, I'm out. I'm out. And it's been really tough. It's been really tough to get back on the high horse, but the high horse of the creative life. But every time I do that, I realize there's nothing else I'd rather do. And ultimately, that's what comes down to it. I just don't wanna quit as much as I wanna quit, if that makes any sense. Now, the thing is, you only hear about the successes usually. Most people don't talk about quitting, and that's because they kind of either wanna keep it to themselves or they feel like failures and they don't wanna share their failures. And I get that. That is a human response. It makes perfect sense that someone would just wanna vanish quietly into the woodwork and, you know, go focus on an Amish lifestyle or whatever. That is a reality too. Most people just hear about the successes. Oh, I sold a spec. Oh my God, I got a directing gig, blah, blah, blah. Almost nobody says, I'm done with filmmaking. I'm done with acting. I'm just going to do this instead. I think maybe there's a level of shame to it. Like, oh, I failed. I don't want to tell people I failed. I'm just going to walk away. And I get that. But sometimes you're not cut out for this life. That's a reality too. Sometimes you're just not cut out for it. Maybe it is really hard. Maybe it is very stressful and you'd rather do something else, and that's fine. I've known plenty of people. One of my favorite actors I've ever worked with, incredible actor. They left acting to do something completely different. And now they're incredibly happy and they're living a rewarding life and they're making money and they're successful at what is not what they started out thinking they would do for the rest of their lives. It's a shame for me because I considered them one of the best actors I've ever worked with and I can never work with them again, but I'm happy that they're happy. And that's all to say that sometimes quitting is rational and it's okay. I'm here to tell you it's okay. If you feel it's not for you, it's okay. You don't have to do this. If you feel it in your guts that no matter what, you want this, then staying requires redefining success. It's not stubbornness, it's persistence. You gotta be persistent. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe in your work, and you gotta keep grinding. But you gotta get out there. You gotta tell people who you are. You gotta tell people where to find your work. You gotta do all these things. Again, the rewards aren't always gonna be there, but you have to tell yourself, this is a long game. It's a long game. And it may not have a happy ending at the end of the day. The people who last aren't the most talented. As a matter of fact, there's so many talented people that will never get a shot or gave up before trying. I know so many actors like, my God, you're amazing. You would have won an Oscar. It wasn't for them. At the end of the day, they chose another path. And that hurts me as a creative person. It's like, oh man, that person deserved a shot. That person would have been amazing if they'd done this and gotten that and all that stuff. But it's not about how talented you are. The people who don't quit are the ones who found a way to stay, found a way to keep going. And maybe there is a little bit of stubbornness in that, but the creative life is punishing. If you can find a way to hang in there to the final round, that's success. My friend, if you're still here, still working, you're not behind. You're just in the part that most people don't make it through. Keep going, because that fire inside you tells you to keep going. That's my advice to you. Financial stress, sure. Effort doesn't equal rewards, yeah, okay. But at the end of the day, you love this. I believe in you. Good luck out there. Let's get it.